friends, and welcome to another adventure with fantastic first grade frogs. Today's adventure involves some little tiny things that we might call roly-polies. They're fun and they're not insects, but they are invertebrates. So let's take a little look at some roly-polies up close. Here we are by the roly-polies. So we're going to take a look at these really cool creatures. Remember that they are invertebrates, so they have an exoskeleton. And I'm trying to keep this little guy on the lid here. There are two kinds of things that we think of when we think of a roly-poly. So there's a PIllbug, which actually can roll up into a little ball. And then there's a sow bug that looks very similar, but it can't roll up into a little ball. They have 2 antennae in the front of their body, and then they have 7 pairs of legs. And then they have that hard exoskeleton on the outside of their body. Here, let me pull a few more little guys in here, and we'll take a look at them. Oh, he doesn't want to leave his leaf. Now, how I got these, I went out in my garden and looked under some rocks and some wood that I had out there, and even under a flower pot, and they were under things because they need to stay wet almost all the time so that they can breathe. They have sort of gills under their body, and we know gills from fish. Gills need to be wet in order for them to be useful. So they have to stay wet all the time in order to breathe. They do like to eat dead leaves and dead plants that they find. So you can find them underneath rotting leaves, or you can find them underneath some old wood, maybe chewing on the bark. So they are pretty fascinating creatures, and we're going to do a little experiment to see what they like best. Like our worms, do they like to spend time in the dark or the light? Do they like to spend time in the dry or the wet? Well, let's find out. The same way we did with our little worm friends. So I have here a box with a wet paper towel in it, and we're going to put our little friends right in there. Oops. There we go. That one got a little scared. Come on out of there. So we'll put 4 of them in here. It's all wet, all the way across. And then we'll put a bag over it to see whether they like to be in the dark or the light. So this side will be the light side, and this side will be the dark side. And we'll leave that for a little while to see if they like the dark side or the light side. Then I have another box with paper towels on the bottom, and this has a dry side and a wet side. So we'll put another couple of fun little friends in here. Oh, don't be scared. It's okay. There we go. As you can see, they are not biting me. They want to eat leaves, not me. So they don't bite me. But I will wash my hands after this. Oh, come on, get off of there. Oh, there it went. All right, come on. There we go. So we'll put this set under a cover, and we'll see whether they like the dry side or the wet side. And we'll come back to see our little friends in a little bit after we read these books. So while our roly-polies are deciding which side they want to be on, let's read a book or two. This one is called I Love Bugs. The author's name is Philemon Sturgis, and the illustrator's name is Sherry Halpern. On the end paper, there's lots and lots of interesting creatures. Now, not all of them are bugs or insects, but we'll go through that as we go along. Woolly bear. Some say the thicker a woolly bear's black stripes, the colder the winter ahead. We saw a woolly bear on one of our walks, didn't we? Dragonfly. Dragonflies were around even before the dinosaurs. Wow. Now that does not mean that there's a dragonfly flying around that was around when the dinosaurs were here. It just means that there were kinds of dragonflies around before the dinosaurs. Grasshopper. The ears of a longhorn grasshopper are on its front legs near its knees. Wow, wouldn't that be cool to have your ears on your knees? Millipede. Millipede means 1,000 legs, but most millipedes have around 230 legs. Beetle. Most beetles' wing covers are strong enough to hold several pounds. Wow, that's pretty strong. Water bug. Some water bugs can race across the surface of the water without getting wet. Wow. Butterfly. Some butterflies can fly as fast as 12 miles per hour. They're pretty fast. Caterpillar. Swallowtail caterpillars scare away enemies by giving off a bad smell. Well, they have to protect themselves, don't they? Spider. Most spiders have 8 eyes. Wow, wouldn't it be interesting to have 8 eyes? Bee. Queen honeybees can lay up to 2,000 eggs a day. Wow, that's a lot of eggs. Way more than we have in our incubator. So friends, let's take a look at which of these are actually insects. So a woolly bear is a caterpillar, and this is a caterpillar, so they are actually insects. And so is the dragonfly and the grasshopper. So is the beetle and the water bug. 6 legs. 6 legs. The bee is also an insect. It has 6 legs. But look at the spider. It has 8. 8 legs is too many. Not an insect. And the millipede, they told us, has 230 legs. Well, that's way more than 6. So a millipede is definitely not an insect. I love bugs. Bugs, bugs, bugs. I like bugs. And it looks like this kid is going outside to take a look around and find some bugs. Maybe you could do that. Bugs that creep, bugs that crawl. Now remember, creep doesn't mean like they're creepy and scary. It means creep, like crawl around on the ground. That's what the word creep means. And that's what these insects do. They crawl around on the ground. Bugs that hop or fly. And of course we know the grasshopper can hop really far, can't it? And a dragonfly is a really good flyer. I love to find them under rocks or watch them in the sky. When I was trying to find some PIllbugs this morning, I looked under a rock and I did find an interesting beetle under there. It was kind of cool. You never know what you might find under a rock. These bugs paddle, and there are bugs that live in the water. They're pretty cool. This one weaves, and of course this is a spider, not an insect, but it does weave beautiful webs, doesn't it? Some make honey, some chew leaves. Both of these are different kinds of insects. Some bugs burrow underground. Those would be ants, wouldn't they? Others swoop and buzz around. This one's like a bit of bark. Ooh, this one's camouflaged, isn't it? This one's like a twig. Ooh, here we have a praying mantis. Remember the praying mantis that visited us in the fall? Cicadas buzz a summer song. Crickets dance a jig. Cicada you might hear in the summertime making a zzz sound. And crickets, of course, chirp. And they're really good for our frogs. I like bugs that blink at night or flutter around the back porch light. But this bug is the best of all. It's Ladybug. She loves to crawl. Is that a real bug? Bugs, bugs, bugs. I love bugs. Now here we have some more bugs. that we saw in the second half of the book. An ant. Some ants can carry more than 20 times their own weight. Wow. Praying mantis. The praying mantis is the only insect that can turn its head halfway around to look over its shoulder. Wow, that's pretty cool. Deer fly. The buzzing of a fly is the sound of its wings beating. Wow, so when its wings are beating up and down really fast like that, it makes that buzz sound. Cicada. Some cicadas spend 17 years underground. Wow, that's a long time to spend underground. Moth. Unlike butterflies, most moths are active at night. Cricket. The male cricket chirps by rubbing his front legs together. Well, that's pretty cool. Luna moth. Luna moths have clear spots on their wings that you can see through. Wow. Firefly. Fireflies communicate by blinking in special patterns. That's pretty cool. If a baby sister bugs you, it's just because she loves you. And a ladybug can have from 2 to more than 24 spots. So different kinds of ladybugs have different numbers of spots. Now, I'm not going to tell you which one, but you know that egg case we have? Well, one of the insects in this book is the one that's going to hatch out of that egg case. So there's your hint. Now, let's read a little bit more about our friends and guests today, the woodlice or pillbugs. So in this book they're called woodlice, and here's a lovely picture of a woodlouse right up close. That's pretty cool, isn't it? This is called Woodlice by Sean Smith. And let's read all about them. Now, there is a table of contents, and it tells us where to find information in this book. But we're going to read the whole book because it's really cool. Watching woodlice. To find this creepy critter, now remember, creep just means that it crawls along on the ground. Look under a log in the park. It's a creature called a woodlouse. It likes places that are damp and dark. And that's where I found our little pillbugs. They were under some wood that I had behind the house and some rocks that I have behind the house. So if you look in a place like that, you might find one too. Actually, I found one under my flower pot. Woodlice have a hard shell. It keeps them safe, though they're small. They also have 14 legs. Do you think you can count them all? If you look very closely at this picture, you can see all 14 of their legs. So they have 7 pairs of legs. Pair means 2. They have 7 pairs of legs, and that means 14 altogether. And they have that hard shell. And of course, 14 legs means, well, they're not an insect. They have way too many legs, way more than 6. If someone asked you to look at a woodlouse, would you listen to what that person said? You'd be able to see interesting things, like the 2 tiny eyes on its head. Look at that. You can see its tiny little eyes. Of course, you'd need to have a magnifying glass to do that. But we're looking at its tiny little head in that picture. How cool. Woodlice have antennae, or feelers, which they like to tap on the ground. So here's its antennae, right here, and they tap those on the ground. They use their antennae for smelling. That's how all their food is found. So here it is, that nice little woodlouse, or pillbug, kind of tapping its antennae around and looking for food. Moldy meals. A woodlouse would never bite you. They like to eat dead plants and bark. They often stay hidden in daytime and go looking for food when it's dark. As you noticed, I picked them up with my hands and they didn't hurt me. They really like to eat plants and dead leaves and things that they can find in wet places. Woodlice or pillbugs actually have sort of like gills under their body, so they have to stay wet all the time or they can't breathe. So that's why they live in those places under rocks or under wood where they can stay wet all the time so that they can breathe all the time. Some of our food gives us iron. That's what makes our blood red. Woodlice get copper in plants they eat, which makes their blood blue instead. Oh, isn't that fascinating? Safety secrets. Well, they have to stay safe, right? Many creatures try to eat woodlice, such as spiders or hedgehogs. Well, spiders like to eat them. Little hedgehogs, we don't have those in Michigan, but if there was a hedgehog around, it would try to eat a pillbug. Woodlice roll into a ball or give off a smell. This also protects them from frogs. So as you noticed when we were first putting them in, pillbugs can, roll up into a little ball. Now if it's a sow bug, it can't do that. They look very much alike, pillbugs and sow bugs, but a pillbug can roll up into a little ball, while a sow bug can't. Growing fast. Baby woodlice are small and white. Eggs and babies are carried by their mom. Isn't that nice? Babies shed their skin as they start to grow. First the back, then the front later on. So here's an old skin, and remember that's their exoskeleton coming off, and the new, bigger exoskeleton underneath. Pretty cool, huh? Woodlice take a year or two to grow, which is quicker than me or you. They start their life with just 12 legs and then grow another 2. How cool. Where are the woodlice? Most woodlice are gray or brown, which can make them tricky to spot. Try to count all the woodlice here, then find out if you're right or not. Well, I see one here. Not that. Not that. Another one here. That's 2. Well, that's a worm. There's 3. Nope. Nope. There's another one. That's 4. Nope. There's 5. And there's 6. 6 woodlice. And it says, answer, 6 woodlice. We got it right. At the back, of course, there's that lovely index that tells us where to find more information about all of these things. Like if we want to know about their legs, we can look on pages 7 or 20. And so if we were looking for information about woodlice, this would be a great book to look in, because we could find out exactly where to go in this book to find out that information. Pretty cool. Well, I think it's time to look at our woodlice, our pillbugs, and see, did they like the dark? Did they like the light? Did they like the wet? Did they like the dry? Let's go find out. So here we are by our experiment. This one's to see if they like the dark side or the light side. Now we can see that we have one little guy out here on the light side. Let's see how many we have on the dark side. Oh, that's where the others were hiding. 1, 2, 3. Well, I'm thinking with 3 on this side and only 1 over here, I'm pretty sure they're liking the dark. Let's check on our wet and dry. All right, this side's the dry side, this side's the wet side. We have 1 on the dry side, and these are over here on the wet side. I only see 3. Let's see where our last one is. Oh, there he is. He's crawling around underneath. I think he was trying to hide. Well, we have 2 on the wet. Whoops, now this one's going for wet. And only 1 crawling around over here where it's dry. So, apparently, I'd say they like the wet, wouldn't you? Which makes sense, seeing as they have to breathe through their gills underneath their body. And in order to breathe through gills, it kind of needs to be wet. We learned that with our fish, didn't we? Well, that's all the time we have for our fun little pillbugs. I'm going to go take them back outside. It's raining, so I can't take you with me. Sorry. But I'll go take them back outside and put them under a nice, shady little log, so they'll be nice and happy. They'll probably enjoy the rain a lot. And until next time, you can enjoy looking for pillbugs. Bye!